Turning now to campaign 2016 and stunning news out of the Bush camp as the presidential Republican candidate announces he is cutting staffers and payroll by 40%. This follows, of course, miserable poll numbers and reports of frightened donors. Joining us now, Washington Examiner political reporter Gabby Morrongiello. To put it in medical terms, is Jeb Bush's campaign sick or is it on life support?
It's on life support, and it's looking worse by the minute. Jeb Bush has dropped to 5th place nationally, which is devastating for a candidate who was long considered the Republican frontrunner. His endorsements are slowing down. He is slashing salaries like Rick Perry and spending money like Scott Walker. And he's
hold on. Spending money like Scott Walker, slashing salaries like Rick Perry, they're both out of the race. Exactly. Is Jeb Bush leaving soon, you think? Come on.
Well, Jeb Bush's campaign says that he is in it for the long run and that he could still win the nomination if he does well on Super Tuesday and in some of the nominating contests in March. But if Jeb Bush fails to win New Hampshire or Iowa, that could be devastating to his campaign because those are really the two opportunities he has to prove that he is a serious candidate.
And we heard from him earlier in some sound bites saying that rather than crisscrossing America to fundraisers in New York and California and all these places, he's going to stick in Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, South Carolina, and the SEC primaries. For so long, folks inside his campaign said, hey, it's too early to pay attention to the poll numbers, too early to do this, too early to do that. Is it now too late to turn this around with 100 days till Iowa?
Well, his campaign is, the reason he's probably not traveling to these states is because he's so short on money right now. He's had to scale back his, fundraising, his expenditures tremendously. And even if he does make it to the nomination, he could still face tremendous troubles. We just saw this week that now 44% of Republican voters say they wouldn't vote for Jeb Bush if he does become the Republican nominee. And at the same time, only 36% say that of Donald Trump, who is a candidate that has gone back and forth with Jeb Bush for most of this race.
Interesting what we're hearing about happening this weekend. Down in Texas, we're hearing that Jeb Bush, for lack of a better term, is attending a family powwow. Whether it's an intervention or not, we don't know. But you can imagine who's there. Barbara Bush, the matriarch, President H.W. Bush, President George W. Bush, father and son, and now Jeb and obviously some other family advisors. Wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall in that meeting?
I would, absolutely. And let's not forget, Jeb Bush at the beginning of his campaign said that he doesn't want to be associated with his father or his brother. And yet here he is meeting with his entire family.
His brother was out campaigning for him.
And he was out there defending his brother against the remarks made by Donald Trump. So really, as much as he's tried to differentiate himself and paint himself as his own candidate, he continues to go back to the Bush family. And what we're seeing in the polls
and the Bush family donor network as well. And we'll see how long that's able to last. Are you hearing the fundraisers are abandoning him pretty quickly?
The fundraising is slowing down. His endorsements are slowing down. It's going to take a stellar debate performance in next week's debate to really get him back on top.
We will see if he delivers. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people watching, including you. Gabby Morrongiello from the Washington Examiner. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks for having me.